Welcome to my channel Celestial Abode. So today we are going to read the chapter 7 of Tapovanam. I am the Atma that dwells in all living beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all things. All you can see in the cosmos, the moving and the stationary object, is manifestation of the Atma. To alter a living being into a non living entity and vice versa is one of the sportive gestures of God, as demonstrated by Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai, and becomes beads on the holy occasion of Friday. In the month of Shravan, married Hindu women customarily perform Gauri Puja. A Hindu couple wished to avail of such occasion to worship the Pada foot or the lotus feet of Swami. They requested Swami for permission, which was granted. They then gathered all the materials needed, but they could not get hold of black beads, which are essential for the puja. At the appointed hour, Swami arrived and took his seat. In their excitement, the couple totally overlooked the absence of the all important beads and commenced the ceremony. Suddenly, a black ant crawled out of a flower offered at Swami's feet. Swami smiled and commented, "What are you worshipping me with, black ants?" And he picked up the crawling insect and placed it in the lady's hand. To their amazement, the ant changed into two black beads. So the only thing wanting for the due performance of the worship reached their hand after all. The grateful devotees were astonished at Swami's ability to create by his mere will. The lady was very pleased that Baba enabled her to complete her puja satisfactorily in accordance with the prescribed procedure. In this instance, Swami altered a living being into a non-living object without taking away life. But there is another beautiful episode where he changed lifeless objects into living beings. Parrot from beetle leaves. Swami was at that time touring Andhra. He stayed in a devotee's home. After meals, silver plate containing tender beetle leaves, areca nut flower, lime, and other ingredients were placed before him. He leisurely removed the ribs from the leaves as he prepared the latter for eating. Carefully arranged the ribs in the plate in the shape of a parrot. He was all the while talking with devotees gathered around him, and he suddenly asked them a question. "What do you think God is busy with?" They answered, "Srishti is what God is busy with." Swami promptly touched the parrot's form on the plate in front of him. It suddenly came to life and flew out rigorously, waving its wings. The devotees were astonished at the wonderful sight. Joining in the general merriment, Swami too laughed enchantingly. Earrings in cookie. Indulal Shah once invited Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba in his house in Mumbai, now known as Mumbai. Swami was seated on one side of the dining table. Opposite him sat Shah and his daughter. Mrs. Shah bought a plate of freshly cooked hot varas and placed it before Swami. He picked up one of them and placed it on the plate of Shah's daughter and told her to break it into two before eating. When she did so, she found a diamond studded ear top in each piece. All of them were thrilled. Swami himself put them on each on the girl's ears. It was Kodai Canal in the fourth week of September in 1997. It was April. Several devotees were dining with Swami. Swami finished his meal and was going around the devotees talking to them in the dining hall. He went near a devotee and said, "Break the puris, puffed and deep fried naan like dish before you eat." The person did as suggested by Swami and found by his surprise a golden ring. Swami said, "That's for you. Take it." Everyone was pleasantly surprised. Anil Kumar was also there eating puris. Swami asked him to eat fast. "Swami, who knows what you have put in which puri?" said Anil Kumar. He further added, "So I am checking every puri and eating carefully." Everyone had a hearty laugh at Anil Kumar's words. In every such situation, the issue is not what has been created. It is Swami's will that matters. That alone is the central factor, the cause as well as the effect. Swami once declared, "What I will happens, what I order materializes." On one occasion in Trai, Swami's residence, Swami invited Brigadier Bose to address the assembled students and staff. The Brigadier spoke mostly about the lessons he had learnt at the feet of Swami. The Brigadier concluded his talk, and approached Swami to touch his feet. Swami did not allow him to do so, but asked him, "Why did you make no mention of what happened to you on the Shera day?" Brigadier Bose said, "Swami, what should I say about it? I am merely an instrument in your sublime hands. I do not have any individuality of my own. I am ever grateful to you, Swami. I cannot describe my indebtedness adequately in words." Swami granted him the privilege of touching his feet. As Brigadier Bose slowly moved to his seat, Swami told members of the staff, "That day Bose was indeed dead. I brought him back to life. He has plenty to do for me." 2 months earlier, Swami had entrusted Bose the work of laying a 12-feet concrete strip around the mandir. He also directed that it should be completed before the beginning of the Dashera festivities. The job took 25 days at the rate of 12 hours of daily labor. Many a devotee participated in the labor of love and devotion. After finishing the job, Bose attended every evening discourse that Swami delivers customarily during the Dashera celebration spread over 10 days. Final day, that is Thursday, the Vijayadashami day, 1988, he was suffering from a very high temperature. Nevertheless, he made his labored way to the Purna Chandra auditorium and sat in a chair close to the dais. Swami commenced his discourse. Meanwhile, Bose began feeling breathless. Suddenly, he collapsed in his chair, but strangely, even though his eyes were closed, he was aware of what was happening around him. He saw a huge golden-colored bird standing there, looking at Bose with eyes full of pity. Bose could not imagine how a bird so big could make its way in the auditorium, but he saw that Swami raised both his hands and waved them as if he was driving the bird away, and it just disappeared. In the course of his discourse, Swami was reciting a verse. He abruptly stopped through the verse and quickly came down from the dais. He seemed to be holding something in his closed right fist. As he lifted Bose by the shoulder with the left hand, Swami patted the back of Bose's head with the right hand. Probably he was holding Bose's life in the right fist, and while patting on the backside of his head, inducted life back into his body. Bose opened his eyes. He was surprised to see Swami standing close at hand just by his side. That too on the holy Vijayadashami. Wanting to touch Swami's feet, he extended his hand. Swami told him to get up and stand, but Bose continued to sit, offering salutations to him. Swami patted on his back to give him strength. He said, "Stand up, come on to the dais and take your seat near the door." Bose obeyed. Then Swami resumed his interrupted discourse and went on speaking for another hour. The lifeless face of Bose steadily and gradually acquired the glow of life within that year. About 2 months later, the sports day was being celebrated in the Hillview Stadium. At the outset, Swami hoisted the game's flag. Bose was present there and was thrilled to see on that flag the image of the celestial bird Garuda, the vehicle of Lord Sri Mahavishnu. Bose remembered that it was the same bird that had sat over him on the Vijayadashami day with its eye full of pity for him. Bose came to know much later that according to Garur Puran, it is Garur that carries saintly souls to heaven, Brahma Loka. Brigadier Bose was referring to this episode when he humbly pleaded with Swami that Bhagwan had restored him to life and that it was beyond him to find words to describe his gratitude to him. Your embodiment of Atma, Baba, once elucidated the nature of Atman and its relationship with the constituents of the physical body like limbs, organs, senses, minds, intellect, etc. The essence of what he said is briefly given below. Mind, consciousness, senses, all these join together to give full shape to body. But Atma is not the combination of all these three things. There is Atma in the body, there is Atma in the mind, there is Atma in the consciousness and the senses. All these function under the direction of Atma. This can be illustrated by a simple analogy. A car has steering, clutches, brakes and several other parts. Does each of them function by itself? When one travels by car, does the horn blow on its own? Does the steering move by itself? Obviously not. There is a driver behind all these. Likewise, body is the vehicle and the Atma is the driver. The driver makes the eyes see, ears hear, and mouth speak. It is only as long as the driver is present that the various parts perform their allotted function. Once the driver abandons the body, the very same ear can no longer see, the same ears cannot hear, same hands cannot do anything, same mouth can talk no more. All the organs and parts become non functional. Earlier, all these were made to work, to function by a master, the Atma. As long as that master remains, the body is Shivam. When he leaves, it is Shavam. If we deeply ponder over our true identity, we will soon realize we are but the embodiments of the inner self, and the parts, organs, other constituents of this earthly body are instruments, and by no means that inner self. The Simla incident. Here is another instance of the suprahuman divine power of Sri Sathya Sai. Once, Sri Sathya Sai went to Shimla along with other devotees. Swami Karunyananda was in the group. That trip saw an unbelievable event. It was evening when the party arrived at the lodgings in Shimla. At about 6:30, as darkness approached, 2-year-old boy died in the house. The parents were grief-stricken. Seeing their agony, a friend advised them, Sri Sathya Sai is in town. Take your son's dead body there, place him in his feet, and beg for mercy. The distraught parents wrapped the dead body in a piece of cloth and took it to Baba. Heartbroken with grief, the mother laid the dead child at Baba's feet and wailed, Swami, please bring him back to life. Please wake him up. As the poor woman was crying, the ever merciful Bhagwan cast a compassionate look at the dead boy. The boy suddenly came to life and began crying. Tears of grief of the parents turned to tears of joy, washed the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sai with their copious tears. The devotees too were overjoyed and immensely moved at this miraculous happening and hailed the glory of Bhagwan with resounding sound of Jai Sai Ram, Jai Sai Ram. Ultimate dissolution, Layam. Karanamma Subamma was a blessed soul who cared for Swami when he was child and was known as Satyam and loved him as if he were her own son. The ever swelling crowds of devotees arrived to have his darshan. Lady cooked meals and fed them. Through endless service to Swami, she used to feel that her life's mission was fulfilled. When Prashanti Nilayam was being built, Swami told her one day that she would live for only 1 year. Though somewhat taken aback, she pulled herself together, devoted herself with more sincerity and devotion to Swami's service. Her health was slowly deteriorating. Kith and kin of her natal home took her to their village to look after her, but she could scarcely endure separation from Swami and returned very soon to Parthi to do as much service as possible despite her poor and deteriorating health. Time passed. Some devotees came to Puttaparthi to invite Swami to their place. Before leaving Parthi, Swami promised Subamma that at the time of her demise, he would make it a point to reach her and place holy Ganges water in her mouth. Soon thereafter, Subamma passed away. Some of the villagers recalled Swami's promise and talk about it mockingly that Swami did not keep his promise of offering holy water Ganges to Subamma before her death. At that moment, Swami was among his devotees in a far-off place near Tirupati. He set out for Puttaparthi, telling them that he had to go to Puttaparthi urgently. On his arrival, he was informed that Subamma had breathed her last several years ago. He found Subamma's already body with ants clawing over. He announced, Subamma is not dead, she is alive. But those around insisted that she had stopped breathing long ago, that she had indeed died, that they were nevertheless keeping the body only for Swami's arrival. But Swami retaliated that Subamma was still alive. He came close to her and called out, Look, Subamma, I am your Swami, I have come. And to the concentration of everybody, Subamma opened her eyes wide. Tears trickled down her eyes. The onlookers were dumbstruck. Swami tenderly touched her lips, and the cool waters of the celestial Ganga flowed out of his divine fingers on the parched lips. She lapped them up and swallowed. Her face was aglow with indescribable satisfaction and happiness. She touched Swami's hand softly as she closed her eyes for the last time. Swami knows perfectly the exact moment of everyone's death. creation, maintenance, and ultimate dissolution are within Swami's absolute control. That is why he is God himself. Swami was once conversing with devotee in his room. He showed them his palm and asked what was there in it. Swami answered that there was nothing, but Baba said in all serenity, "This empty hand holds everything." When he closed it and opened it a mere moment later, there was a locust there. Wonder of wonder, there was also a tiny leaf to serve as the insect's food. The locust was actually feeding on it. In a while, Swami closed his fist and opened it to reveal that nothing was there. The devotees present in the room could not believe their eyes. Through this incident, Swami revealed to all of us, ignorant as we are, creation, maintenance, and dissolution is in his hand. This incident took place about 30 years ago. Bhagwan explains his divinity in a few pregnant words. He says, Bha denotes creation, Ga denotes protection, and Va denotes ultimate dissolution. He who embodies these three supreme powers is Bhagwan. Herein lies the sublime secret of my essentiality. Om Shri Sai Parabrahmana Namaha. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.